Today in this video, we will have a summarization of our chapter, The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. So let us start with a very good quotation by Oscar Wilde. So what does he say? No great artist ever sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist. So according to him, no great artist ever sees things as they really are. Means the artist is really very great when he is going beyond the reality, in depth of the things, and if he is not doing so, then he will not no more be a artist. Cease means to bring an to be an end. Okay, now let us let us discuss about this fairy tale, The Happy Prince. So the Happy Prince is purely a fairy tale. It has all the characteristics of a fairy tale. So let us now discuss about the characteristics of the fairy tale. If we go through the characteristics, the first one is imaginary characters. Yes, now in this chapter also we are having imaginary characters. Which is the imaginary character in this? It is Swallow, even the Happy Prince. Because in reality, we could not see any of the statues speaking like this or having an attachment with the bird, right? So we can see imaginary characters in this chapter, far from reality. So there are many things which are really far from reality. They could not be in existence, they could not be in reality. Some of the things are discussed here in this chapter as well, and it has a happy ending. Now we will discuss about the character sketch. There's some characters. First we will discuss about the major two characters, and the two major characters are the Happy Prince and the Swallow. Now let us have a discussion about the character of the Happy Prince. So former ruler who lived happily in palace of Sansought. The palace was surrounded by lofty walls so that sorrows could not enter. So Sansought is a place where the palace was located. Actually we were discussing, means throughout the chapter we had not come across this name of the place and name of the town. It is Sansought. So here we could come to know the name of the town is Sansought. So the palace was surrounded by lofty walls so that sorrows could not enter. So it was surrounded by very high wall where the Happy Prince used to live. The palace was surrounded by very high wall, and the Happy Prince did not bother how people in Sansought were living their lives. So he was least bothered, means being a prince, he was very least bothered about the troubles, sorrows, problems, issues and hunger of the people in his town, because he was very isolated into in his palace. After his death, his statue was set up so high that he could see all the ugliness and misery of the city. So this thing is far from reality. As we had discussed, one of the characteristics that the fairy tales are far from reality. So how come a statue could see what things are going in his town when the statue is located at the very high square of the town? So but here, as the Happy Prince is able to see, the statue of Happy Prince is able to see, after his death his statue was set up so high that he could see all the ugliness and misery of the city. So he could see the ugliness and the sadness in his city. Now the second character is the Swallow. Swallow was the bird who worked as a messenger for the statue of Happy Prince. So throughout the story we had discussed about Swallow, that he was a messenger for the Happy Prince and was communicating and was helping the people, the needy people in the city of the Happy Prince. So Swallow was the bird who worked as a messenger for the statue of Happy Prince. When the statue donated both of his eyes, Swallow stayed with him forever. He started loving the statue of the Happy Prince. So when this Happy Prince had donated his both eyes to the needy people, both the sapphires were plucked off by the Swallow, and when the statue was completely blind and was unable to see what exactly the things were going into his city, so the Swallow, being his messenger, stayed with him, continued with him to stay, and was conveying the things what were happening in the city. Then now other characters in this chapter are, the first one is the seamstress. So as we have discussed, seamstress means what? The lady tailor, we can say. Okay. So this is the first poor character in the story, and it is the seamstress. She is portrayed as a thin and worn-faced woman with coarse and red hand. She has a baby and he is lying ill on the bed. He has a fever and asking for oranges. His mother has nothing to give him except river water. So he is crying. So this is what the scenario in the small room of the seamstress, that her son is lying ill on the bed and he's demanding for the oranges, but she is unable to give him fulfill his need because she is very poor, and except river water she doesn't has anything to sorry, she doesn't has anything to give him. Now the next character is the playwright, the second poor, and he is the second poor character. So the second poor is a young man whose hair is brown and crisp. His lips are red as a pomegranate and has large and dreamy eyes. He is trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold to write any more. There is no fire in the garret, and hunger has made him faint. So we have discussed this thing in the explanation of the chapter, that the playwright is very eager to complete his play, but because of his hunger and the coldness and the severe cold, he is unable to complete, or he is unable to write that play. Okay, then the other characters are the little girl, and the little girl is the match girl, means she is selling matchsticks. Okay, so the little match girl is the third poor character. She has to give her father money, or he will beat her if she goes home penniless. She has let her matches fall in gutter and they are all spoiled. The father will beat her if she doesn't bring home some money, and she is crying. She has no shoes or stockings and her little head is bare. So the third poor character in this chapter is the little girl, the little match girl. She is satisfying the needs of her family by selling some matchsticks, but her bad luck is that her matchsticks are fallen into the gutter and she is now penniless. And if she go penniless at her home, definitely her father is going to beat her, and she is very scared and she is crying, and she has no shoes and stockings and her little head is bare, and she is very poor that she could not even afford a pair of stockings, long socks. Okay, and her little head is bare. She doesn't have even a fur cap to cover her head and save herself from the cold. Now the fourth character is the beautiful angel. The angel was signed with the task by the god to bring two most precious things in the city. So this is really very important part in the chapter, the last one, and the character is also very important. No, it's nothing like that, only the angel is important. Every character is having the same weightage, same importance in the chapter, because they play their role and they signifies definitely a unique thing in them, right? So an angel was signed with the task by the god. So God had assigned her with a task to bring two precious things in the city. So when the angel brought leaden heart and the dead swallow, so you have rightly chosen, said God. The god deeds of whomever and whosoever, happy prince and swallow, must be paid fairly by God. So these two were the very beautiful and precious things in the city, and the beautiful angel has truly chosen the two beautiful things in the city and brought it to the God. And God said that this bird will sing forever here in the garden, and the prince will be staying in the paradise and will be singing, praising the songs of God. Right. Now let us go with the story. Plot means story. So there is a statue of Happy Prince in the middle of a real unhappy town. See how the statement is. You can understand how ironical statement it is. There is a statue of Happy Prince in the middle of a really unhappy town. So yes, it's an irony that it's a statue of Happy Prince, but the statue is located into the unhappy town. Yes. So A swallow comes to sit on the statue's plinth. The swallow sees the happy prince crying and asks him why. The prince says there is too much sadness in the town and that the swallow should take all the jewels of the statue and give them to those who needed them. So the swallow is asking the prince why you are crying, and the princes are saying that you please pluck off all the jewels whatever are embedded into my statue, and you please help the needy and poor people in my unhappy town. But then the swallow never flew away for the winter and dies. Also, the greedy mayor of the and see, uh, this so this swallow became the messenger, and he asked and the statue asked him to pluck off all the sapphires, then the ruby, and then the silver leaves which were onto his, which were used for the decoration of the statue. And the statue asked the swallow to pluck off all those materialistic thing and give it to the needy people so that they can satisfy their need. And at last what happened, swallow never flew away to the for the winter and dies. So it was a plan of swallow that he will stay there for 1 or 2 nights, not no longer than that. But unfortunately he has to be there, and he became the permanent messenger of the statue. But his bad luck, because of the severe cold he dies. And then the discussion, and the greedy mayor of the town comes there and sees, and he doesn't think the statue is beautiful anymore. So see, we could see from this behavior of the greedy mayor, we can come to know that everyone is attracted towards the external beauty, right? So this mayor was also attracted towards the external beauty of the statue, and when he saw that there are no more jewels, no more golden leaves on the prince statue, he orders for the prince to be melted down. He asked the his two counselors to melt the statue, but they find that the prince's leaden heart won't melt, so they throw it out. So when they come to know that the leaden heart into the statue is not able to melt into the furnace, then they throw it, and they throw it onto the heap of a dust where the dead bird was lying. Throughout the story, an angel who has been ordered by God to find the two most precious things he can find in the city and bring them back to him. The angel brings back the dead swallow and the lead heart, and God is happy and says that the swallow will now sing in paradise garden forever, forever more, and the happy prince shall praise me forever in the city of gold. Now let us discuss about the theme of the chapter. So the theme of the chapter, as we had discussed before, is outward beauty is nothing. It is just a show. The real beauties are love and sacrifice. So definitely these two are the unique qualities which everyone should have, which everyone should possess. So outward beauty is nothing. It is just a materialistic thing which is going to be vanished. But the real beauty are love and sacrifice. So these are the permanent and long lasting beauties which will never die. The external beauty, your appearance, your looks, and your external appearance is definitely going to be vanished, but people will remember you after your death as well, for a long time, just for your qualities, just for your behavior and all. So love and sacrifice are really the best things which are taught through this chapter. So love and sacrifice are the two saving forces, we can say. So because of love and sacrifice, we can save someone's life. Okay, so this is what the theme of the chapter. Let us discuss some more themes of the chapter. There is a great gap between the rich and the poor, the rulers and the masses. So this is what common even now, even today, even near to us, we see this, that there is a great gap between the rich and the poor. And definitely this thing is never ever going to be ended. So this will be permanently there in this world till the end of the living being. What? There will be always a gap between the rich and the poor, and this is not going to be ended. So God loves those who love their fellow human beings. So one more theme or one more lesson we can learn from this, it is that God love only those people who love the fellow men, human beings, means one who help each other, one who loves, cares for each other. So this is again one more theme given in this chapter. Now the implications. So the writer wants to tell that the outward beauty does not mean a lot. The real beauty is in person's heart, which have the deep feeling and the ability to feel the sorrow and hardships of others, just like the happy prince, that he led a happy life but after his death. When he saw people worries, he felt them and helped them as he could do so. So here it is discussed that the writer is the writer very eagerly wants to convey us the message that the outward beauty is nothing, but it mean a lot. The real beauty is in person's heart. So the real beauty lies into person's heart and not in the outward beauty. And the same has been expressed here, the same has been given here, the same thing has been expressed here by the happy prince, but after his death, when he saw the people worried and felt them, and sorry, when he saw the people's worries and he felt them and helped them as he could do so. The lesson was with the lesson we got from the story is that every person is not the same. As the happy prince is very rich and live happily, but when he saw people's hardship even after his death, he was worried and anxious to help them and every possible way and make it possible by the swallow, which was his great deed. So being so this is what the implication of the chapter, that what lesson we learn from this, that definitely the lesson is that the external beauty is really not important. Even after the death, he tried his level best to help the needy people, and that too very anxiously. He was really very worried, and at last even the swallow had helped him, accompanied him for his great deed. So I hope you understood all this chapter, which I had summarized in short with the help of some PPTs. I hope you understood this. Thank you all. Have a nice day.